Some curses run deep, passed down like heirlooms through bloodlines marked by monsters, hellhounds, werewolves, things that wear your name and wait for your time to run out. If your bloodline is cursed, there's no outrunning what's coming. You're listening to Whispers After Dark, where shadows talk and the night listens. Before we begin, take a moment to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let us know where you're listening from, then sit back, close your eyes, and let the whispers take you into the night. Some monsters wear masks, others wear a badge. This next story was sent in anonymously, just a single line scribbled on the envelope. Justice hunts at night. I'll call this one The Hound of Vengeance. I was 8 the first time I saw my father change. Back then, we lived in an old farmhouse nestled deep in the Appalachian foothills. It was in the middle of nowhere. No neighbors, no noise, just fields and woods that went on forever. That night, I'd woken up to a sound I couldn't place, bones popping, something wet hitting the floor, then a low growl that didn't sound human. When I crept down the hallway, I saw him in the barn. His skin was half gone, curling back like scorched paper. His spine jutted like a blade through his shirt, and his eyes, black, shining, no whites at all, like coal pulled from hell. The thing he became was a hound, a devil hound, towering, gaunt, fur like smoke, claws like iron. But he didn't see me. He just ran, fast and silent, into the woods. When he came back the next morning, he was covered in blood and barefoot. He never explained it, not once. But I found out what it meant when I turned 18. That's when the curse kicked in. We're not werewolves, not really. We don't change under the moon. We change when we choose to, when something pulls us. My father called it the blood sense, the way a predator smells guilt, feels it deep in the bones. It only reacts to one thing, injustice. I tried to avoid it. I enlisted. I became a detective. Real badge, real law. But the first time I saw a man walk free after hurting a child, I felt the change coming before I even stood up. My skin crawled, my heartbeat doubled, my vision tunneled. I followed him that night after he left the bar where he was celebrating getting away with his crime. When he stepped into the alley, I followed and I let it happen. When I woke up, there wasn't enough left of him to bury. That's when I made a deal with myself. I wouldn't hunt. I wouldn't feed. But if something came across my path, something that had escaped the justice system, I wouldn't ignore it. So now I walk the line. By day I wear a badge, I file reports, I ask questions no one else will. By night I become the thing no one escapes. They say there's a black devil dog that haunts back roads, shows up behind guilty men, stares through car windows, howls outside murderers' homes, eyes that glow red. That's me. I don't change for petty theft. I don't change for accidents. But if you leave a body behind and smile in the courtroom, I'll smell it on you. I'll follow you. Even if you leave the state, even if you start over. One man moved 3 times, changed his name, started going to church, but the guilt never left him. It leaked out like oil. I waited a year, long enough for the court to drop his appeal. When I showed up, he didn't even scream. He just whispered, "I knew you'd come." I'm not proud of what I am, but I don't lose sleep over it either. Some bloodlines were made for punishment. If you're innocent, you'll never see me. But if you're guilty and you think you got away with it, don't look out the window when the dog starts howling. Don't check the shadow behind your car. Don't bother running. This hellhound already knows your name. Our next story comes from a viewer named Lindy. Believe it or not, I will let you decide. It's been passed down through blood, through pain, and through something much older than any of us understand. They called it the bloodline. When I found out I was pregnant, I thought that was going to be the biggest change in my life. It wasn't. My name is Lindy, and this is my story. It started 2 weeks before my 21st birthday. I was visiting my grandmother, Grandma May, at the nursing home. She'd been slipping for a while, her mind caught between past and present. But that day, she was clear, focused, like she'd been waiting for me. She pressed a thick, leather-bound journal into my hands. It was old, worn smooth at the edges, the spine cracked from decades of use. The air around it smelled like smoke in her old cedar chest. She leaned close and whispered, "It's yours now. It's always been yours." Inside were names, so many names. My mother, my great-grandmother, women I recognized from stories told around the table at holidays. All firstborn daughters, all with entries dated around their 21st birthdays. Each one was a confession, a warning, a transformation. On the inside cover were 6 words scrawled in a shaking hand: "She must never see the moon." I thought it was some old superstition, some backwoods family legend meant to scare kids. Until I read the entries, until I saw the drawings, until I felt something stirring in my own blood. I told Xander that night. I expected him to leave. He didn't. He pulled me into his arms, held me so tight I could feel his heartbeat in my ribs, and said we'd figure it out together. 2 weeks later, the full moon rose, and I changed. I don't remember all of it, just flashes. Pain so sharp it made my bones feel like glass. My skin stretched, tore, shifted, my mind fractured, part of me watching from inside, screaming. The rest wasn't me anymore. Xander had done what I asked. He locked me in the basement. Reinforced doors, soundproofed walls, heavy chains bolted into the foundation. A single glass block near the ceiling let in the faintest light. The next morning, I woke up on the floor, cold, naked, covered in blood. He said it was mine. After that, he rebuilt the basement, reinforced everything, poured concrete over the floor and added a drain, installed a silver-lined collar attached to a chain that ran through a steel ring sunk 4 feet into the ground. The walls were lined with steel mesh behind the drywall. The door was custom, thick wood, layered with aluminum, bolted shut from the outside with 3 deadlocks. A keypad. No keyhole. Every full moon, I went in. He kissed me, locked the door, walked away. I told him not to open it. No matter what I said, no matter how much I screamed, some months I remembered nothing, others I remembered too much. I woke up once with dirt under my nails, another time humming a lullaby I didn't recognize. One morning I found a feather in my mouth, a long black feather. He said maybe it blew in through the vent. I had our daughter in the spring, Elise. I was terrified she'd inherit it. But the curse, according to the journal, only awakened at 21. Only in the oldest daughter. That gave us time, I hoped. Last month everything changed. I felt the moon coming before it rose. My skin burned, my hearing sharpened. I stopped sleeping. Xander said my eyes didn't look like mine anymore, that I smelled different. He didn't say it out loud, but I saw the fear in his face. The night before the full moon, he reinforced the chains again, added another bolt to the door. His hands were shaking when he locked me in. I remember everything. I remember the way the chain groaned, the way the collar slipped, the smell of rust, the sound of the beam cracking, the moment the chain gave way, the moment I saw the door, and the second I stopped fighting it. I don't remember what happened after I got out. Not clearly, just the scent of him, the warmth of our hallway, the pull in my bones. When I woke, the door was shattered. One of the bolts had been ripped from the wall. There were drag marks on the floor, blood everywhere, on the floor, splashed on the walls. Xander's ring, our wedding band, lay in the middle of the hall. He was gone. No note, no scream, no body, just gone. I've been searching ever since, but every trail fades, and deep down, I know what I did. I know why I'll never find him. The night I broke free, I think the werewolf inside me killed part of me too. And every full moon, I feel less like myself, less human. I think there'll come a night when I won't change back at all. I just pray my daughter is grown by then, safe, far away. But she won't be forever. She's the firstborn. She'll inherit this bloodline, this curse. If you listen this recording and you see a woman with pale eyes and blood on her teeth, don't help her. Don't let her in. Tell my daughter, I tried, but the blood remembers. Across cultures, across centuries, there are whispers of black dogs with red eyes, omen hounds, devil dogs, specters with claws that scorch the earth and breath that smells like burning grave dirt. Some say they're demons, some say they're spirits, but all of them agree, if one follows you, you're already marked. This story was sent to us by a man named Brian. He didn't give a last name, and after what you're about to hear, you'll understand why. This is The Last Baskerville. They say The Hound of the Baskervilles was just a story, a brilliant piece of Victorian fiction, a mystery solved by the great Sherlock Holmes. They were wrong. Holmes solved a case. He didn't solve the curse. My name is Brian Jeffers, not my real last name. I dropped that years ago. I haven't used the name Baskerville in over a decade, changed it legally, burned the old records. There's no trace of me as a Baskerville anymore. Not on paper, anyway. But blood doesn't lie. I grew up in England. My father never talked about our family history, but when he drank, he got scared. Really scared. Said things like, "We don't go near moorland, and never trust dogs that don't blink." He died when I was 12. Heart attack, they said. But I didn't believe them. Not the doctor, not my mother. I saw the fear in her eyes whenever she looked at me. Not long after his funeral, I found his journal, tucked inside a false drawer in his desk. Inside were drawings of the hound, burned paw prints, accounts of family members who disappeared in the night. Every death linked to sightings of red eyes in the dark. A hound from hell that comes for the men in my family. The journal told of the curse and how one of my ancestors made a pact with the devil. The curse, as it was passed down, said this: "The hound is bound by blood. It feeds until none remain. The last of the line it will claim. The final Baskerville is the price. Once taken, the hound may rest in hell." I didn't believe it. Not really. Not until everyone else was gone, my cousins, my uncle. All passed in strange ways, accidents, illness, suicides. I will leave it up to you whether you believe their stories. As for me, who am I to judge, because whether it howls from the woods, waits behind a locked door, or hunts with burning eyes, what runs through your blood may be older, darker, and more dangerous than you ever imagined. Thank you for spending your night with us. If you enjoyed tonight's stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. And as always, stay cautious, stay curious, and beware of the whispers after dark.